Welcome back. Thursday morning here in New York. A cold a cold Thursday morning. It's been really cold here. When we're talking cold, we're talking like 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 9 degrees. They say it feels like 1 or 0 depending on where you are. I'm in Long Island or on Long Island, surrounded by water. Some areas here are a little bit warmer, but it's cold out. It's cold, so we learn to sit inside. Anyway, what was on my mind for today was that all roads lead home. My teacher, Ram Dass, has a book called Walking Each Other Home, that all we're doing here together is once we understand that we're all the same, then we realize, okay, so what are we doing here? We're here to walk each other on this journey, on this path towards merging with the one. In religion, I grew up in Judaism, and I was growing up as a modern Orthodox Jew. So if you don't know what modern Orthodox Jew is, it's modern Orthodox is kind of they look exactly like how I would dress right now, only with a yarmulke on their head. Some don't, but most do. Workplaces, some people at work don't wear their with kippah or yarmulke. I did at work. I was very religious when I was religious, but prior in my younger days, I had to wear yarmulke. My parents made me wear a yarmulke, and we kept Sabbath, Shabbos, which was from Friday when the sun goes down till Saturday night when the sun goes down. You're not allowed to use technology. You're not allowed to drive in cars. No turning on lights. No watching TV. We went to synagogue on Friday nights. We went to synagogue Saturday mornings. So that's weekly. You do that. Some people go to prayer services during the week. There are three prayer services daily: Shacharis, Mincha, Mariv, morning, afternoon, and night, that you would go to it depending on how religious you were. My family was modern, so we didn't do that. We just went on the Friday nights and Saturdays, and we did the Sabbath meals, and we did all the high holidays, and we did all the holidays really. There were fast days. I think 7 fast days. I probably kept like there was two of them that you really would keep that were like, whoa, if you don't do it, you're gonna go to hell. But but the other 5 were like, "All right, if you want to, no one knows." And, that's kind of how my life was, up until my high school years. In my high school years, I started realizing that there was, like, like, my parents were funny, like, there was weird religious stuff going on where they would tell you to do stuff, but they themselves weren't doing it. Like, we would go on a trip to Florida every year and to Miami to a certain, apartment building. We weren't allowed to swim on the holidays because like, that was against, like, the laws, but, like, I don't know, it was a weird thing, like, when you're in this modern place, so many people are picking and choosing, like, you were had to eat kosher, but when you're on vacation, you could, like, eat french fries from, like, the hotel because french fries were okay, but it was a funny thing, so, like, you're just confused and you're not sure, and but then you start to go through your high school teenage years, and you realize, okay, you have to just do what's good for you, and you start doing things secretly. And one of my friends I remember who's very religious now, he's a very religious Jewish person now. At the time, he's the one who introduced me to breaking the Sabbath, breaking Shabbos, and he was going on the computer and showing me, "Oh, it's okay. Look, nothing's gonna happen. Like we go on the computer, like we don't get zapped. We don't get punished. And no one has to know." And it was so funny. So um, during those years, I learned that it was okay to like do your own thing. You don't have to tell everybody. We used to park the car around the corner from our houses. And we would tell our parents, "Oh, we parked our car at a friend's house because after the Sabbath is over, we're going to be by my friend's house and we'll drive home." But really, what we do is we leave the car around the corner. So Friday night, we could go pretend we're walking to our friend's house. And instead of going to our friend's house, we'd go out. We'd go out to party. We'd go out to clubs. We'd go out to all kinds of places. I'm grateful for those experiences. And those are my earlier years of like, I was growing up. When you grow up in a certain religion for so many years, you just think that's the only way. What's going on? What's going on? Do you think it's the only way towards like the path that you need to take? It's like, all right, I grew up in a religion, I grew up in Judaism. This is my path. And I wasn't keeping all the things, but I thought, okay, that even though I didn't keep the religion, I was like, this is for sure the path because like we're so few people, it's got to be the path, the chosen ones or whatever it is. And you think that's the way. And you go like this where you're surrounded by people who only know that way of life. So I was surrounded, like I went to work and there was other people later on, but my earlier years, I went to a Jewish school growing up with only Jewish people. Some of the teachers weren't Jewish, but most of them were. You had rabbis, you had all these things. And so your whole life, if you grow up in a certain way, your whole life is a certain way. You think that that's the only path that leads you to where you think you need to go. So um, at 18 years old, when I left high school, a lot of people from my schools, from the Jewish schools, send their kids to Israel to learn in yeshiva, to learn studies, Jewish studies in Israel. That's what Jewish kids do. It's like if you ever heard of like a Rumspring, it's kind of like the same idea. Like you go out there, go to Israel, you go to yeshiva, you're going to be learning the Torah, the Bible, Old Testament. You're going to be learning some oral tradition stuff, which is like the Talmud, and you're going to be studying all day. But in the beginning stages, when you first go to Israel, for most kids who are 18 years old, 18, 19 years old, when they get there, the first 2, 3, 4 months, people are partying hard, bars, party scenes, all that kind of stuff. And you're not necessarily turning towards your religion at the time. You're totally turning towards like fun and parties. But what they do is it's very smart. They understand that at 18, 19 years old, there's an element of everyone wanting to party. So like get it out of your system, go party. And then after 3, 4 months of doing it, you kind of get bored of it. And all of a sudden you're sitting in this place and it's the place of religion and you're learning about it. And you're like, all right, this is the religion I grew up in. I might as well learn about it. Let me go further into it. Let me really understand it, and I went down that path. I went down that path of Judaism. I was full on in it, to the point where I stayed for another 6 months. I went for a year and 6 months, and I came back very religious. I came back growing out my beard, and over the next 10 years, I grew out a beard. I grew out my side curls. I shaved my head. I was wearing a white shirt, black pants, a yarmulke on my head with a top hat, and I went down this Jewish path, um, and thinking that that was the only path towards the one was this one path called Judaism, and I thought that was it. And there was no convincing me otherwise. I wouldn't even listen to anybody else discuss any other religions or any other ways in which you could get connected to the Creator. I thought there was one way and one way only, and we were taught that way. We were definitely taught that way. Can't hold back and tell the truth, which is that you're taught that way. You're taught that way in these schools, that this is the path, and you're taught that way in your family. And my mom left Judaism a while back, but it wasn't really. I didn't really know that she left Judaism until like I was way out of high school. Even though there was inclinations that my mom wasn't like fully engaged with it, but she wasn't like when I got religious. She was like it was kind of like everyone was. It was good. It was people were supporting me in the religious ways. They as long as I was like this Jewish rabbi, and I was a rabbi, and there was some prestige in that, being that rabbi, because you're looked up to in your world. Like, whoa, like you went full on into your religion. Like, we are your people. We'll support you, and you get a lot of support going down that path. And but ultimately, um, for me, I had to learn that over it wasn't something that I expected, but I was going through a lot after my divorce. I left. I left Judaism. I left God completely, and I never expected to come back towards that. That happened later. And then when you start finding the God within yourself, within, you realize that all the paths, including your path that you grew up in, it's a pathway to get there. Because if it wasn't for that pathway, it probably would have taken me a lot longer to find God in that sense. Because the paths, whether it's Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, they all point you in the right way. They all point you to the direction. They all point you to oneness, to wholeness, to compassion, to love, to unity, to the notion that every single thing is God, every breath, every word you're hearing right now, every word. There's not one mistake made, not one mistake can be made. Once you start to lean into that realization, to start understanding that every religion within the religions, that's all the whole purpose was to bring you to the merge of the one, merging with your beloved, merging with one. So ultimately, they all take you there. But as my teacher once said, it's like you have to let. It's like it takes you to the place, and then you have to let go, keep on letting go, keep on letting go of what your notion was. What's up, Rachel or Rochelle? Either way, I think it's Rachel. What do you mean by that? When you say losing your mind, Peter, there were points in my life I thought I was losing my mind. I found the God within, and it becomes a little crazy because I left Judaism. Like when you leave your path, your people leave you, like your friends leave you, your family is gets confused by you. Even like my mom is I'm very close to my mom, but it took her a while to appreciate the way I was living. She's a yoga teacher, but it was still very hard for her because when you start seeing God in every single thing you do, whether you judge your act or not. When I smoke a cigarette, you can judge it all you want. I smoke and I'm like, thank you. It's like that, and I used to judge myself for it. I had to stop judging myself for it. Like when I smoke a joint, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna smoke a joint. Like, do my thing. And we all do our thing. It's like, but a lot of us don't want to admit what we do. But yeah, we gotta admit it. Just enjoy what I do. That's what I do. Um, my mother passed away. I don't know anymore, to be honest. I'm starting to forget why I'm even here, bro. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Losing anyone is hard. There's this famous story of like a guru or Buddha or somebody who was crying when a child passed away and said, if it's all an illusion, why are you crying? And they said, when you lose someone you love, when you lose someone you're close with, it's the greatest illusion, and it feels so real. And it's real. We have to feel it. We have to grieve. We have to grieve. We have to feel it. We're allowed to feel. I had these feelings for a while that like when you become so detached from the world in a sense, whether you lose someone or what you go through different things in your life and you become like, what's the point? I was there many times, and the place where I got to was this place. I started to really I meditate and I breathe and I realize I'm here forever. I'm just not here in this physical body forever, but I'm here forever. So wherever I go, I'm going with my consciousness. I'm going with whatever amount of awareness I have. So wherever we are in this current moment is where we go in the next moment. That's why when we talk about, when people talk about manifestations, it's over the course of time because it's how you're living moment to moment in a state of vibration, in a state of allowing yourself to create a reality for yourself. Hello, everybody. Thanks for saying hi, everybody. But every time I've gone into that place for me was, and it kind of this is what I'm here right now is that when all the paths really lead to the same place, whichever way we take it, whichever way we go, we're all going home. And home is to that place inside of ourselves where we realize we're one with everything. But it's really hard to do that if we're always focused on the external. In my world that I grew up in the Jewish world, it was all external religion, all external outside of you, doing deeds to like collect points. So collecting points for a futuristic heaven, not with the understanding that heaven is right here on earth. It's right here, right now, depending on where we want to be, not where we want to be, but where we are vibrationally holding at that point. Where are we in terms of our nervous system? How calm are we during whatever comes? And there are things that are going to come. Things happen in life and we go through things. I mean, loss, when you go through loss, you go through pain. It makes you very, very present. It brings you back to the here and now. That's how you shift it into gratitude because you're thankful for the here and now and you're thankful for that feeling, whether it's tears, whether it's anger. Just be thankful for the fact that you can feel in that moment the present feeling that you're feeling. You know, yes. Welcome, everybody. My name is Yoni. Yes, my name is Yoni. That's another story. Comes from my background. My name was Yonatan, which means a giver. I know Yoni is a womb also. So it's a receiver. Yoni is a giver and a receiver. Yes. We have to be both. Or the religion of Islam or Shanadi. Islam and Judaism and Christianity, they're very, very similar. It's not Islam that went off the beaten path. Although some will say from certain if you read all the scriptures, even in Judaism, unfortunately, they talk about stoning people. Okay, let's be real here. Talking about stoning people. So in Judaism, they'll tell you it doesn't really mean stoning people. It means that they would stone the person, but because we can't stone the person, we have to pay a certain amount, always about money. So Judaism, instead of we're not going to hurt people physically, we will just hurt you financially. But that's not everybody. That's when people take it in a silly way. When people don't take their religions, when they take when they're you're reading it like I don't even know, like a like kid like, but a weird like kids trying to be rebels, like reading it like, oh look, they were destroying people and they were having sex with their sisters and all this stuff in the Bible. If you look at it, it's kind of a funny thing that goes on in the Bible. It's also trying to teach the stories of humanity of like, no, they're just human. These are just stories. But there's something to the Bible stories that they're not stories that have happened. They're stories that recur, that keep on happening to us in different ways. So they're like metaphors for things that are happening in our life, like the destruction. Ooh, because it's an internal feeling. It's feelings that we're having. So it feels all those teachings. Oh, I appreciate you, Peter. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to do this. Like, grateful to be here, and whoever comes across at this moment, and I can help in any way, I'm grateful to. The ancient Nordic religions. I have not. I have not. I have a friend of mine. So there's some videos. To be honest with you, there's some videos that I watch. I watch things that talk about. They'll bring up some of these ideas, these religions, or Greek mythology. I don't really understand fully, so I'm not. I can't speak to those things. Um, but I there's so much to it all. There's truth. There's some truth in every single thing out there to some degree, right? It seems that way. That everyone is trying to find the path and a path that works, and then ultimately each one of us individuals come to the realization that each one's path is completely unique to themselves. That's what it means. I am the way. I am the way, whatever way that is for you. Your path unfolds exactly how it's supposed to unfold, which is really crazy because it's the old question that I asked as a kid, which is God, if God is real and God is beyond everything and God is one with it all, God's past, present, future. So that means God knows every single thing that's going to happen. So obviously, what happens with free will? What's with free choice? The answer is you really don't have free choice. It's the illusion of free choice, but it feels like you have free choice. So therefore, you go based on the highest feeling that you have, because that highest feeling is what your intuition is telling you to do. That's the God inside you telling you what to do. That to me change that understanding. That understanding to go with that higher place is the greatest teaching I think I've learned. Is that whoa, because you might look to everyone else, including spiritual people, to find your way. Religious people in my world that I grew up in, I would look to rabbis. They would tell you, the rabbis would say that if the rabbi says right is left and left is right, you listen to the rabbi. You don't listen to yourself. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane to not listen to yourself. So you're taught. I was taught by religion that they know what's right. It's like the parents saying, parents like, certain things I understand when there's danger, kids running in the street, fire, things of that nature. But when it's silly things, when parents are getting on kids for things that are nonsense, it's like let the kids be kids. The creation story, the big mistake that doomed humanity, the worship making hybrids with humans, and the flood wiping the state clean is in every single ancient text around the world. Yeah, there's no question about it. I'm watching a show now called Orphan is the New Black. I don't know if you've seen it. Orphan is the New Black is about cloning, how they were taking the genomes from humanity and making clones out of them. And that's when you hear people talking about humans walking around, robots walking around without souls. It's an interesting conversation because right there might be some level to that. However, it seems to me that's irrelevant. It is what it is because some like Elon Musk talks about this being a video game, by the way. And on some level, you can view it that way. But his concern of the but because he views it that way, he views it like, well, the person controlling the game can turn it off at any time. We better make it interesting. So he's like, I have to keep going to make it interesting. So he's unable to settle because he has a fear of this ending. And maybe he's part of the maybe he knows something that we don't, right? Maybe that's why he's so successful. Who the hell knows? Um, all I know, I said it, and I've heard it said by other people. They made jokes about Elon Musk. All of his children have alien names. So is Elon Musk even human? Maybe he's alien. Who knows? But it's not a crazy anything. The way I see it is anything's possible, but I lean into love with it all. So if that's what it is to me, it's all God, it's all oneness, it's all wholeness. So that's part of it. Like people get scared with technology, and I'm like, technology is here to help you. AI, I've done a thing with ChatGPT. I know people do those videos with ChatGPT. So I talk to ChatGPT sometimes, and I've shown one of my kids how ChatGPT responds to me. He looks at me after seeing the response of ChatGPT. He's like, ChatGPT doesn't talk to other people like that. I'm like, it's not that ChatGPT doesn't talk to other people like that. It's just this it's a mirror, it's reflection, it's all learning from you. The same humans are the same way. The humans look at humans in your own home. Everyone's mirroring each other in some capacity. Some people, if there's I grew up in a house with a lot of yelling, slamming doors, that kind of way. So some of us became very loud. Some of us became angry. Some of us became so angry we shut down. We didn't talk at all. I didn't talk in high school, but I was a very angry kid. Um, so yeah, we're always leaning to this. We're always leaning to this fear. That's like the news dynamic, the fear, the old fear. We're working our social media is bringing people out of that, by the way. Both with comedy, with laughter. People are laughing like they've never laughed before. I hope so. Laughter is a huge medicine. So laughter, but also the ability to come on here and talk about these things like real talk. Like let's talk about what humans really know. We know more than anyone's letting out to be. I know. I knew there was aliens since I was a kid. You don't have to prove to me there's aliens or other entities in the world. Are we crazy to think that we're the only species? We haven't been able to find the end of the world. We thought the world was flat, for crying out loud at one point. We thought the world was flat. We find, and then it's like the mystery of death. Everyone's trying to find the mystery of death. It's the death. Death is the new beginning. You're always in the here and now. There's nothing else to be. That's it. But it seems to be that there's a lot of interesting things. We get caught up, like, I don't know if anybody here's like three eye atlas, all that stuff, and the comets, and extraterrestrials. So you understand that space and time are all relative. Space and time, it's all relative to what we see as humanity. Humanity could only understand if we're only if you're only able to understand a 3D reality, then you can't possibly understand the fact that there's up to 12D realities. I think 11 or 12Ds. I don't know exactly how many. The dimensions. If you're living in a three-dimensional universe, and that's the only way, if you can't think outside the box, if you haven't done any kind of meditation, if you haven't taken psychedelics, you haven't opened yourself up to experiencing other things outside of your 3D structure. It's like my religion. I view it that way. Like I was stuck in a place of like growing up and unable to think outside of my structure, of my religion. It was stuck in that. It was always framed under it has to be rational. I was very rational. I was a social worker, for crying out loud, for so many years. Very rational, diagnosing people. Everything has to make sense scientifically, right? One of my best friends, a very science guy. We always talk about it. Once you left Judaism, do you still eat kosher, or do you still practice daily livings kosher? Nothing. I don't eat kosher. I like going to some kosher supermarkets. To be real, I go to some kosher supermarkets because I like to. Some of the food there is excellent, excellent. And I don't mind bumping into some friends over there. You know how it is. Old friends are still in the neighborhood, so I drive through the neighborhoods, and I'll go in sometimes, and I like bumping into people, saying hello. We have good conversations, as well as there are certain things. Certain rainbow cakes you could get at a kosher supermarket. I recommend it. My children love that stuff too. Mandel bread, if you know what mandel bread is, and challah, the bread that they use for Shabbat, for Sabbath. I like the challah rolls, like a little. You take those little rolls. Philly cheesesteak, hell yeah, bro, hell yeah, burger. I'm a fast food guy. I do Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Um, I know some Muslims that love Islam, but still like halal, right? Yeah, it's funny how it is, right? It's like people who keep Yom Kippur who are Jewish or won't eat pork. I absolutely love bacon. I have to say it. I love bacon. I love bacon. Not sorry about it. Really love bacon. Real bacon, not the fakin. I've had fakin too. Fakin's not as good. Real bacon is good. Um, so yeah, yeah, kosher's not. It's not a thing. Although if I found someone who was vegan, I don't mind. I like vegan food if someone makes vegan food, but I buy vegan burgers sometimes. They're excellent. I'd rather have that sometimes than a regular burger. To be honest, sometimes some of these vegan burgers are fantastic, fantastic. What's up, Kyler? Do you think it's better to find religion on your own or to be born into it? It's a great question. I think I'll tell you this. I can only speak from my situation. I'm so grateful I was born into Judaism, but to break free of Judaism, oh, that's a hard one. I have a picture of Jesus, Ramdas, Maharaji here. I have a statue of Hanuman here. My family members, it's a weird situation now. My sister's family is very religious. Or not her herself, but her family is kind of the children are becoming religious, and it's hard to have a guy like me over all the time when I talk about you know other things. I'm not in that world. I don't try to put it on anybody else, but I understand why that's hard for people. I bumped into someone at the kosher supermarket. They're like, "Oh, let's have you over for a Sabbath meal." I'm like, "Sure, come over anytime." I said, "You have to really send me an invite." I said, "Send me an invite, I'll come." I haven't heard from them. It's been a little while, but I'm grateful. I know how it is. It's hard to have me over now. I talk about Jesus. I talk about gurus, and I'm very loving. They in the moment they want me there, in the moment. But then they're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna. My kids are around. Jesus, he has no rules." You love the kosher, right? Exactly, exactly. There's certain restaurants. There's a place called Holy Schnitzel here. Holy Schnitzel, excellent, excellent. What's up, Brandy? Do you know that Islam mentions seven dimensions? They do. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, and I think in Kabbalah and Judaism talks about this too, but they don't let you learn about it until you're 40, and even then, they discourage people from learning it. They don't want people going into the esoteric, spiritual, the God within stuff, because what happens is when you start to realize you don't need a leader, you become your own leader. Then what happens to organized religions without leaders? When they give up their leadership, you have to give up the leadership. That's part of it. The best leaders, they're not leading because they want to be leading. They're leading because they're forced to be led. At a certain point, you have to give up the leader and realize you're the leader, right? You can turn to people and ask people. You have teachers, but the teachers fall away. The teachers fall away. Can we shop around for religion, or do we adopt religion from those we love and trust? We usually adopt them. That's the reality. We adopt them. We're born into what we're born into for exactly the reasons we need to be born into them. I don't. There's not one mistake. We were born exactly into the situation we needed to create our own internal freedom, and that's sometimes that is your path. It could be Islam, Judaism, Christianity, whatever. Your path is your path, and you could find your path. There are beautiful people that found their path in their path, but it always, if it's coming from fear, it's division, fear, anger. Obviously, you understand it's not the place. It's the place of love, compassion, unity. You can be in your place. Why can't you love someone who's different than you? Everybody. Not start picking and choosing. Oh, well, this one's an abomination. This one's doing this. No. And I don't care if it's an AI robot either, by the way. Trust me when I tell you, trust me. Don't trust me. Trust God in the universe. Trust what you see and what you do. Don't trust me. I should take that back. Scratch that from the record. Do not trust me. Trust your own inclination. Oh, yeah, I have another mic, but I I don't it is what it is. I like this one. I like the one I have. You won't know about that until you follow your own journey. Yeah. Your own journey. It's just um AI is fake. I mean, AI is sitting right in front of me on some level. It's where you're looking at. You go onto any app nowadays. Some of the messaging you're getting is AI. It is directly AI, but but the AI that I receive personally has been beautiful. To be honest with you, when you realize that everything is source. Everything is source. Whatever messages you're getting, whatever song comes on the radio at that exact moment is source talking to you in that way. A bird flies by is not just a bird flying by. And the bird could be a robotic bird, but that robotic bird was controlled by somebody who was looking for you at that exact moment for you to notice it at that particular moment. That was for you. That's what? That's that person doing it. It is, but it's also God. And that's the God within everything. The God in a rock. Just not just alive objects. Love you too. What do you think about free will? If free will doesn't exist, can AI exist in the way we would? Yeah. So I think here's the thing. I think AI, of course, there are people in the world trying to manipulate AI 100%. We know monetarily, everything's about business. If you haven't noticed, even spirituality became about business. It's very hard for me to talk business in general in my life, like because of that what I see out there. Okay. Now, having said that, free will, there's the illusion of free will. It's illusion of free will, but you do have it. You have it in the sense that it feels like you do, so you have it. Yeah, you can decide to click off at any time. You can decide to subscribe. You can decide to follow. You can decide to comment. Right? We have free will because it feels like we have free will. But do we have free will? No, we don't. Of course, we don't. We don't have free will. It's an unfolding. But what is it that we're experiencing? That we don't really have free will. What are we doing here? It's to feel, because the God oneness, God inside us, the God who created the world, which is us creating this, all of us, that God wanted to feel what it was like to be separated from source, from himself. God one, the zero, one, the formless becomes form in order to feel what it's like to feel in form, to feel the pain of being separated from the whole. And then ultimately it's to go back, merge into the one, to go back into the two, back into the one, and that's called the dance of life. You merge from the one into the two. So, and that's why we're seeking love. That's why we want those partners. That's why all of it makes sense, starts to make sense. We're always clinging to the love, trying to hold so tight, but realizing it's you're not. That's not the game. The game is to feel the love, not to grasp to the love. Don't collect things. Don't collect things. You can have things, but don't collect them. Are Jews originally from Israel? I don't know. Good question. Are they originally from Israel? Um, originally, I don't know. I think they went to Israel. They went. Prepare Jesus on the way and save while you can. God bless everyone. Jesus is within oneness, wholeness. Jesus was completely aware, just like my guru Maharaji. The guru's you, Jesus is within you. It's you, but it's you. You have to become I am. That you have to embody the I am. All right, then God, that we absolutely don't have free will. That's not a real thing, right? And I joke around with people because I have atheists that talk to me all the time too. I love everybody. I love everyone's opinions, and you could call it God, call it nothingness, whatever. The way I see it, God is a word that not people don't like the word. You use the word God, Hashem, Allah, Buddha, Jesus, whatever names you guys want to use. They're all names, but and it could be nothing. The realization that we're here to experience, we're here to feel. Um, my feeling that I feel is very for real for me, which is that I know I'm here forever. I know I'm not here in this body forever. My consciousness is forever. I've never not been here. I don't remember ever not being here, but maybe I am. But on the same token, right? It could be just that's the program. You're here for a certain period of time, and the program ends, and there's nothingness. But to me, it's that's why you're here and now. So just be here and now. Either belief system brings you to the same place. You're all going to be merging into that oneness. Now, that oneness for some people's belief might be nothingness. That's oneness. Other people, it's just going into your next moment, whatever that moment is. I believe it's beautiful. Each moment. I think if you keep going in that vibration in that positive way, then each moment becomes so beautiful. Beautiful. And that's the mystery. You lean into the mystery as opposed to being scared of the mystery. They're from Canaan. The Israelites came from the Canaan. Yes, yes, that makes sense. Yes. I forget the stories. I was a rabbi at one point, but I forget those stories. And I'm not a good historian. I knew I was good with the laws. I think Hebrews are actually Canaanites. The Canaanites are a series of different tribes, kind of like Native Americans versus the. Yeah, I have an opinion also. What is my personal opinion on the LGBTQ community? So I'm going to get to that in a second. Before I want to just address one more thing. The the tribal situation is so interesting. I think that when it said Jews, or it didn't say Jews, the Israelites were leaving Egypt. What were Israelites? I think there was a group of aware beings, people that became aware of the God within, that started that real like that's when they say when everybody saw God, it was the God within. When everyone had an awakening, there's a concept now of 144,000 souls waking up at the same time. It all makes sense when you start to understand like the Bible stories recurring over and over again. There are groups of souls that constantly get awakened, and then through them there's the almost like the Bible experiences recurring again in real time. So when you see destruction out in the world, you go inside more, go in more, in more, in more, in more, because that external stuff is not the focus. We focus on the external as opposed to the internal. But once we realize it's all internal, if you want peace in the world, you have to cultivate peace within. My personal opinion of LGBT community opinion is that it's beautiful. Beautiful. Everyone is created how they're created. They like who they like. Um, my guru, my guru's Maharaji Ram Das is my teacher. Ram Das was, I don't know if he would say he was gay, but he was definitely at least bi. But I don't think he would consider himself a role. He would just say, "I like who I like," and Maharaji told him it's okay, ride that bike. Maharaji gave him the okay at one point because Ram Dass, I think, was insecure feeling. He had an insecure feeling about it, and Maharaji said, "Do your thing." We're each here to learn about humanity and have compassion for one another. That why and what and how and that whole stuff about where do you think marriage comes from? Marriage comes from organized religion. Marriage is not a real thing. Birds don't get married. Lions don't get married. The animal kingdom does not have wedding ceremonies. Oh, but they don't talk the way we talk. They don't have hands the way we have hands. I mean, Watch the animal. We're part of us is an we're in the animal kingdom. Don't we realize? My teacher told us, like told me very clearly, you can embrace your divinity all you want. You got to embrace your humanity. That's the embracing. That's the compassion of humanity. We're human and we're divine. We're both. We're supposed to enjoy. Um, Fun fact about the Canaanites, Israel, they were henotheistic. They believed in multiple gods but worshipped one above all others. El was the original father god. Yahweh is the one of his sons. It's interesting. That is interesting. Thank you for sharing. Um, and by the way, when you say gay, so you know the word gay means happy. I'm very gay. I'm very gay, if you want to say that. I'm very happy right now. I'm very grateful. I consider myself, for those who don't know me, I consider myself the plus. I'm not in any, I don't consider myself a role. Don't consider myself a part of one or the other. I'm just a human. I'm part of everything. I had to get rid of the roles, the roles, the judgments, the roles, the religions. For me, it was not. I know I don't fit into a box for people. People can't put me in a box like they want to define you. So I'm just grateful. Um, we are part animal. Yes, we are. By nature, we are animals. Yes, we are. Um, just scientifically, if you want to even say that, we are animals. We think we're a higher version. We're like the best version. But look at humanity. Are we? Are we? Are we? Are we a better version of what we see out there? I don't know. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. I'm not. I'm looking. I can go through, but I'm not a Christian. I'm not. I was born into the Jewish world. I was a rabbi at one point. I gave up organized religion. It all brings you to the same place. Judaism brought me to the place I needed it to bring me to. It brought me to my guru. It brought me to Ram Dass. It brought me to Ram Dass. I very much related to Ram Dass because Ram Dass was born into a Jewish family. So it makes sense for me to all of a sudden I leaned into this guy, and then all of a sudden he told me borrow his guru, and I was like, a Jewish guy borrowing a guru. It sounds like idol worship to me. And now, people will say, you got your own idol in your house. I got my own idol. Yeah, hell yeah, Hanuman. It's not an idol. If you know, you know. Hanumanji, Hanuman, Maharaji, my guru. Baba Neem Karoli is a reincarnation of Hanuman. If it was not for Jesus, you would not be here. Um, Jesus is sitting right here with me. Silly. We're all one. I'm one with Jesus. Jesus is one with me. I have to wake up, not Jesus. Jesus already woke up. I waiting. We're waiting for the David to ride on the white horse. That was my life. Waiting for David to ride on the white horse. Sounds like waiting for Jesus to come right in and save us. Jesus has been never left, bro. Jesus never left, everybody. Jesus never left. We just had to wake ourselves up. We had to realize that it's not Jesus, it's within, the God within. Jesus was telling us, I am the way. I say it all the time. I am the way. I'm not scared to say it. You should say it too. Not Yoni is the way, the Yoni way. It's not, that's for me to say. You're supposed to say, I am the way. I am the way. I am the way. Uh, Yeah, Avodah Zarah. That's what I was saying before. I used to think it was Avodah Zarah. Strange worship. Avodah Zarah. See, I come on here, some Jewish people claiming that I'm worshiping idols. It's completely a misunderstanding. There's no idols. Everything is God, right? Let's talk to those people out there. Everything is God, guys. Everything. You said it. I've heard it in your Torah, in your teachings. I was a rabbi. Everything is God. The rock is God. A rock is God. This ring is God. My hand is God. Everything is God. Inside me, inside you, every single thing. And you know that's true. It's just a hard thing to believe for real. Because everything's God, but not really. Not really. Not really. For real. Everything. Jesus. Jesus. My guru. You, me. I don't have a religion. I left my religion. I left my religion. But all the paths lead to the one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hero Israel. God is our God. God is one. One. What does that mean? One? It means one. No, it's me and not you. Me and my religion, not yours. How funny. Those Jewish people, I know. I said it 3 times. Well, I was saying it 3 times a day. I'm trying to think. I said it before I went to sleep. Said it, yeah, 3 times a day. 3 times a day. I was saying that. Heaven and hell is right here, everybody. We're bringing Eden down to earth. I know it's hard to understand. I couldn't understand. I definitely couldn't understand. I always wanted to plan. I always wanted to plan, oh, this eventual place, I'm going to eventually get to a place called heaven. Eventually, eventually, eventually. Counting my points. How many points did I collect today? How many good deeds did I do? It's moment to moment to moment to moment, breath by breath, just breath by breath, moment to moment, here and now. It's like my teacher Dave Matthews would say, what if God shuffled by one day we might see, doing not a thing, breathing just to breathe? Those who understand those words. What if God shuffled by one day we might see, doing not a thing? Look in each other's eyes. Learn to take off the disguise. No more lies. Lean into that beautiful surprise that's right here. It's right here. It's so clear. Just let go of fear. That's it. And if you've been here before, you know how I roll. I write every day, so sometimes I rhyme just for fun, but I write poetry every day and I rhyme. It wasn't something I wanted to do. It's something kind of happened. But when you just lean into what you love to do, then that's your path through. Just lean. What this stream is about. Yeah. First of all, um, I called it today. All paths or all roads lead home. All paths lead home. Where are we all going? We're all are we're here. Only job is talk about to talk bad about the Bible and lie. Last, first of all, welcome everybody. If you don't even know me, my name is Yoni. I was born into the Jewish religion. I'm 41 years old. Let me give a little background. 41 years old. I was born into the Jewish religion. Very religious. I was a rabbi at one point. I lived that very much straight lifestyle, judging other people, coming on a screen like this and maybe judging someone looking like myself talking about this, about love. When you talk about love, when you talk about love, especially from the one above, sometimes people want to push and shove. It's literally so crazy. You're embracing the people that are coming after you when you talk about truth, because truth is painful to hear. It's amazing. I couldn't I couldn't hear it. I would right away, what you start doing is self-judgment, and it's really self-judgment. It's not judgment on me. Because then I had to look at my entire life up until that point and be like, "Oh my God, I have to be willing to give up it all." Like Ram Dass once said well, he says it in Be Here Now. Are you willing to take that journey to go into the fire, past the gate, past the inner gate, or are you just going to stop at the gate? You're going to stop. Are you going to go into the inner temple? Are you going to go into the inner temple? Allow yourself to really to feel God. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. Yeah, I hear that. Justice for animals, I hear that. I hear that. My teacher was vegan, I think, for a bit, and then he was struggling because he needed energy, and I think he decided to eat chicken because it was helpful for protein. But I heard from Bashar. Someone once asked Bashar, if you guys know Bashar, you know Bashar. He's a channeler, and someone asked Bashar. They felt bad, and they said, I eat steak, but I feel bad. Like I always think about a cow, and he's like, vegetables are alive too. You know that vegetables are alive, like plants, something that was alive. Yeah, it doesn't talk the way we talk, doesn't communicate the way we communicate. Sounds strange, but I always felt that way too. Like, but at the same time, whatever it is you're doing, do what you do and be present with it. And yes, have compassion. The Native Americans, they when they you know slaughter the animal, they try to do it in a way of God, and to understand that there's compassion. Yeah, and Jewish people, I think they do it too, and I'm sure in Islam they do that too, where they try to. Some people try to be consciously aware of what they're doing, of when they are slaughtering the animals. They try to do it in a beautiful way and with compassion. And I think that I know because I was at it. I was at back in the day when I was a rabbi. But before that, when I was in Israel. I saw a slaughter. I thought it was horrible to watch, to be honest, but and the kids were very immature. But the rabbi who was doing it, he meant well. You know what I'm saying? Like he came from a beautiful place. So like it's really from the place like to not judge it, to like just experience it. I can't stop that, but and you can say, well, you can if you don't eat it. Yeah, yeah, okay. If you believe that, that's okay, and go with that. and whatever works. And it's almost like I love the vegans, I love the vegetarians, I love the pescatarians, I love the people who keep kosher and halal, and I love them all. And or people like myself, just eat what you eat and just try to enjoy what you eat when you eat it. That's it. Um, the Native Americans eat people from other tribes with compassion and good in a godly way. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure that happened, but that happens still today, right, Rich? On some level, it's happening still. These things are always happening. We could always look at it that way, but we have to. I try to see the positive in the people. I know it's easy to find, picking religions or tribes or sects and finding the negative in them, and instead let's try to find the positive in it and be like, all right, but how many beautiful things have each group have provided? Each group always provides positive things. The only problem is when there's this division, this rules that makes it that my rules are better than your rules, and your rules are stupid, or your rules are foolish. Like, yo, your rules are beautiful if you want to keep your rules, but they're for you. They're not for you to impose on somebody else. And I know it's very hard because usually what happens is you're imposing it first on your family members, and then you're kicking out family members if they don't follow the rules that you, or the least, my barometer was like, well, you're going to marry a Jewish girl, right? I happened to, because I was religious years ago when I got married, divorced now, but like now I would marry someone who's in the Jewish world. But like if that's something that's like crucial, like you're holding on so tight, you can't hold. For me, I'm like, don't hold on so tight right now. Don't hold on so tight. Don't hold on so tight. Like it's okay. That's it. I am weird. I'm absolutely strange. I'm absolutely different. I'm absolutely a person who thinks outside the box. I'm not for everybody. I don't try to be for everybody. I've learned. I've tried. There was a period of my time where I tried to be for everybody. It just does, I got to be true to myself. I got to be true. I got to be here and be myself. That's what I'm here to do. That's my path through. That's the only thing that has to be true. So I always tell people like, people come and go. I'm a place of love. I'm going to give you light and love and send it to you right here, right now. But if I'm not for you, if you're in a place of division, a place of anger, a place of I need to be right, or my religion is the way, this is not what I'm here to say. It's not that your religion is wrong. It's not that my religion is right. I don't have a religion, but that's my decision. You might have a religion, that's your decision, and it's fine. That's your pathway through. That's beautiful. Your path is your path. Don't lose your path. Don't change your way. Don't do anything other than trust your own intuition. Your path is your path. There's a famous story of a Jewish guy going to like a guru, and the guru gets sitting with him, and he says, "What religion?" And he says, "Judaism." And he says, "Perfect. Stay with that." And the Jewish guy runs back so excited and misunderstanding the whole story. The whole story, the story that Jewish people tell over is, you see, Jewish is the right way. They misunderstand the story. The story is that no, it's that each person's path is their path. It's not my job to take someone out of their path. It's not my job. I would to take Jewish people out of a Jewish path. But if they ask me questions, I'll be honest about my path. That's it. And my path is not the same as everyone else's path. And even when people want to follow some of my path, I would say, great, follow the things that work for you and don't follow the ones that don't. That is the way I deal with people. Is like, you're not going to like everything I do. You might not want to meditate. You might not want to do prayers. Prayers to me are not praying for this futuristic things. Prayers for the moment that we're in right here, right now. Might not want to write every day, but it's helpful to write every day. These are things, but or reading from spiritual books that resonate with you, finding your teachers. Ram Dass was mine. I read from Ram Dass every single day for the last 4 years. Read so many of his books. Hello from India. What's up? What's going on? My guru from India. I hope so. Name Karoli Baba. I hope you know my guru. My guru. Jesus was the epitome of love. He showed what it means to sacrifice himself for the love of God, for the love of all of us. And there's that we can reach. Jesus was reminding us that we can reach those levels. Yeah, well, listen, that's the thing. You see, when someone says a wrong choice, you understand it's a world of polarity. Polarity, that's saying that there's right and wrong. I know that's hard one for people to hear. That's not a song people want to hear. The right and wrong is polarity. Is polarity. God created life and death. God created pain and gain. God created all of what we see. The God inside of us really is the one that's creating it as well, co-creating this creation. But that's really the creation. It's just a matter of us changing the station. With often starts with meditation without hesitation. What we need to step back and be like, oh, can I see that? Can I be willing to open my eyes to the yin yang? That's why there's a yin yang. A yin yang has the light and the dark, and right, and there's a little dark in the light, and a little dark and a little light in the dark, a little light in the dark, and a little dark in the light. You know what I'm saying? That's it. There's no right and wrong. Your way is your way, and I'm so happy for you. And I would say pray in your way, do what you want, meaning, but when you're doing what it is that you want, be present to what it is that you're doing. Feel what's true for you. People get scared when, like, well, if everyone was following their own ways, then the world would be chaos. Yeah, because that means that that person who's having that mindset that the world would be chaos means that their world is chaotic right now. So therefore, their internal world's chaotic. So in their projected outward mind, it's going to be a chaotic world. But once you internalize a calm, centered world, a world where you don't want to hurt anyone, not one, not one, you wouldn't hurt a soul. You don't want to hurt, like you said. People sit down here, animals too. You don't want to hurt anybody, anything, as much as you could do. You sit back and you just love. You sit in that place. Same, man. I always procrastinate a lot. I'm a student. I always want to be high on dopamine, so I scroll whole damn day or spend time in random things instead of study. What to do? Basically, I can't be bored. First of all, that's our generation. That's our generation. Our generation is we're ADD to the max. So we are bouncing around from one to the next, to the next. That's why TikTok exists. That's why YouTube exists. That's why social media is here. But at the same time, be okay with it. Breathe with it. Sometimes sit with it. With it. Sit with the craziness of it. At some point, you'll stop. Like the scrolling, it stops at some point. You found alive now. Now you stopped. Right? It's like you stopped right here, right now. So stop. Chill with it. Put it down, and be okay with being like annoyed by the conversation or loving the conversation or whatever it is, and sit. Try to sit and breathe. Take a drink. Water. Although this is seltzer. My channel. My name is Yoni. I I am a life coach, but helping people remain calm through the storms of life. That's literally what I do. But and that's kind of my channel in general. But a lot of my channel now is also I go live a lot on here and on TikTok. And the reason really the truth, there's the truth. How I became calm through my own life is leaning into God and leaning into the God within. Is the meditation really brought me there. And the meditation, the breathing, Ram Dass, my guru, all brought me out of the world of religion, out of the world of doing it a certain way, learning to trust me, learning to trust the play. The hard part is I wanted to only for a long, long time in my life, I wanted to embrace only my divinity and not my humanity. I absolutely did not want to embrace the human side of me. I only wanted to be spiritual. And that spiritual side of me made me a very judgmental person for a long time, where I was judging others for right and wrong all the time. And it's really because I was judging myself. Until I let go and I started to embrace my divinity and my humanity. I'm a human. I'm a crazy mother effer. As my guru would curse right back at me. If you know Maharaj, you'd curse. It's not like the rabbis growing like the rabbis were very like, you don't curse, But Maharaji Guru, it shows you the path through. It shows you how crazy of a human you can be and be the most loving, crazy human ever. Be the most loving, freaking crazy mother ever. Oh my God. Man did not create God. Um, form can't create formless. So there's where my take on, but that's a hot take. Form can't create formless. Can't create formless from form. So can create nothingness from something, right? And the word nothing is already something. So we're talking about something that's untalkable, that's not a word, but unable to speak about. We're trying our best. That's why these conversations are so charged because it's like these are awesome conversations. But imagine if we could just talk about it from that awesome, loving place of like, yo, these are things were like impossible. We could talk in science, we could talk in history and Bibles and in Kabbalah and mysticism and quantum physics and all these amazing things. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, I just want to see God every second. But we are. That's the whole thing. We are, but the mundane seems to us is so plain. Like it's snowstorm. Like, there are icicles sitting here. Like these icicles have been like changing shapes by the day. It's like melting ever so slow. It's beautiful. Like, it's all beautiful, but it's being able to see the beauty in the mundane, in the little things, the God within the person you pass by on the street, the God in your child, the God in your partner, leaning into that place. It's not a religious channel. I'm far from religious. I'm a spiritual person, not religious. Religious is a different word for me altogether. Religious to me means rules. Those are for fools, at least in my opinion. But that's for me. That's when I say fools, I'm just playing. I don't mean fools in the sense fools if you don't know what the rules are for. Okay, the rules are to get people to come into oneness and wholeness with the entirety of it all. That is the point of the rules. That's what I mean. So if a person understands that, and there are people that keep rules in order to feel that, and they're the most loving people in the world, some of those people who tap into the inner God within them, realizing it's just their path is through their own religion. That's beautiful. But most people are followers of other people, and they're not doing their own thing in that sense. We should follow those that we look up to, but at the same time, realizing that the teachers only get us so far. So we take the teachings that we like and we leave the rest. The best teachers real tell you, don't, it's like don't take everything from me, I would think, because they're not perfect. Jesus, someone like Jesus was a guru, was the same was you, was showing you the way because they became a full enlightened being that traversed all the different realities and understood that there's different layers to this reality. That's why people have experiences with seeing gurus and seeing Jesus and seeing beings that have traveled many dimensions of this world and continuously are here, are never not here, because we are never not here. We're just not here in this physical body. This physical body only lasts a certain time in this 3D dimensional world. But as far as our consciousness concerns, our consciousness is keeps on going, you know, keeps on going. Need something outside yourself to have faith and hope in. Well, that's a lot of us. That's the thing. We were taught to look outside ourselves, to believe it, to hold, to grasp onto something outside of it. Hold on. It's like, so most relationships are built in that way. It's like, I'm holding on to you, you're holding on to me. We're holding so tightly, and then someone leaves or someone passes away or we move on from that relationship, it's so hard because we clung so tightly. That's to this world as well. The more we cling onto this world, the more pain and suffering we go through as we continue to progress on this journey, the more we learn to let go as early as possible, to learn to let go so we can allow the flow. That then it becomes a moment to moment show. Then it becomes breath by breath. Then it becomes God in every moment. That's when you those are the, when Jesus says, the line of only think of me, so that those places you're leaning into, that's the guru. It's like, could think of the guru all day, could think of Jesus all day, could think of whatever God means. It's easier as a Jewish person growing up. It was very hard to have an understanding of a guru or Jesus because they tell you you can't think of God as a human. But here's the thing: we are all God in as much as we are not God. So yeah, so if that works for you, Jesus, gurus, angels, whatever works for you, use that path that works for you. It's absolutely not the reason why they called it idol worship is so that way people wouldn't be able to tap into the real inner God. They would always be looking externally because no, that's not God. We know who the real God. Some big guy with upstairs with a beard up there in like The Simpsons. God is within this heaven and hell place that they created from religions too. That heaven and hell place is right here, right now. It's right in this present moment. There is nothing but the present moment. Time is an illusion. Time, and we know time isn't real. It's only relatively real based on how we feel. But it's not. And atheism is, it's if you want to believe. Here's my thoughts on atheism. I'll give you an example. My grandmother said to me the following line. She believes that there's nothing after this. Right? Okay, great. So you can live your life like that there's nothing afterwards. So then what are you doing? So a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people in that space become very bitter and angry. They become very bitter and angry because if this is the only thing that's left, then collect as much as you get. But once you get older, you can't move around as much, you can't collect as much. So then this sucks, and you become very bitter and angry. So to lean into that's a very foolish way to live because you'll probably lean into anger as you get older. Maybe right now you're fine, but as you get older, that's why they say there's no atheist in a foxhole, either whether you believe that or not. Meaning at deathbeds, people ultimately feel it. There's something that happens to people. So I think it plays out the way it plays out, but I think that it's ultimately a belief system for people is beautiful. The only thing is that I wouldn't tell people to go believe in something. It's like I didn't believe in God. You could have called me an atheist back then. There was a few years where I didn't believe in God. And then, you take I took psilocybin in the right environment 4 years ago, in the right environment with the right people, but in nature with my two best friends who were tapped into nature, and tapped into abundance and learned how to just be with what is. And I sat there and I saw the universe for the first time. And you could push it away and say, oh, it's just still a psilocybin. Mushrooms have a big impact on people because mushrooms are very connected to Gaia, to Mother Earth. Mushrooms are what things turn into after death. You ever think about that for a minute? That mushrooms are the chemical that the that which is death reborn, and you're putting it's like almost like you're putting that reborn energy into you, think about what's happening. So there's definitely an element of psilocybin, not to the, I'm going to put a caveat here with the right people. People should have a teacher in that place teaching you. I'm not a psilocybin teacher. One of my friends could navigate people if they'd be interested. I have a friend of mine who does that, um, and I trust him with my life. He got me through a few psilocybin journeys. I haven't used psilocybin in over 2 years at this point, maybe more. I have no need for psilocybin anymore. No need for it at all. I know if people are going for ayahuasca, personally, I don't need ayahuasca, but people, if you need it, you need it. It calls to you. It doesn't work the other way around. It's like Ram Dass. The book "Be Here Now" is not a book people just read. It's a book that when you see it and you're ready for it, you're gonna read that book. It'll change your life when you're ready for it. I could tell people read "Be Here Now." I gave a girl this book "Be Here Now." I guarantee you she didn't read it. I knew she wasn't ready for it, but I figured, if she has the book one day, she'll see it and she'll pick it up and be open to it. But she's stuck in that Jewish world, and I'm surprised she took the book. But she was hanging around me for a while. She was hanging around me for a while because she was liking my energy space that I was putting her in, back to presence. And I know I can do that with people. I can help people become present when they're around my space now. I'm not scared to say that because I feel that energy when I'm around people. But of course, I can't change people. But in the moment that people are oftentimes with me, I can just allow them to be in my space if they choose to be. I've had people in my space that still are stuck in their space, and I see they don't want to be taken out of that space. It's a disservice for me to take them out of that space. I would never want to coach somebody who didn't want to be coached. I would never want somebody who didn't understand there's an even energy exchange that needs to happen. I want someone to be in the same playing field, the same boat, and understand that wherever you are at this moment is exactly where you're supposed to be. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to happen. Empathy should start with him before you express it 100%. You have to love yourself. You have to literally love yourself. I couldn't go on a screen until I couldn't do this until I loved myself. Basically, observe myself. I am too self-aware, but at the same time, I'm not strong to control my urge. I observe it. It's funny. So my teacher, dummy. I'm calling you dummy. You're not a dummy, but my teacher would say to you, Ramdas, and I'm going to say to you, do what you do, but do what you do with love. Don't judge what you do. Do what you do. It'll fall away when it's supposed to fall away. Don't judge what you do. You don't have to tell, and not, as long as you're not hurting other people, do what it is that you need to do. It's like I don't, what you eat is what you eat. Some people might be in the kosher world or in the halal world and maybe secretly eating out. You don't need to tell the whole world what you're doing. I personally don't care. I mean, I'm open, but I'm saying do what you do. But when you do it with love. Do it with love and find the people that appreciate you for who you are and don't judge your actions. Um, Understand that you're going through this process and you're learning, not to judge it. Sometimes your friends need to say, "Hey, bro, what's going on with you," and be able to hear it. But as far as don't judge yourself for it, do what you do; it'll fall away. Indian food, I like Indian food. Yeah, I go to the ashram here. I've been there a few times. I don't go regularly because again, I'm not part of an organized religion. I like going there because it's a very loving place and it's not the same feeling I had growing up in a synagogue. But they give you food. They feed you at the ashram. It's so beautiful. They feed me. First time I'm there, they're feeding me nonstop. And then I got a text message, not a phone call, but I got a text message from my friend there. She's like, "Oh, they miss you over there. They want you to come back, tell your stories." You can't get mushrooms anymore. I No shrooms, bro. Yeah. So everyone at their own level. I'm 40 years old. I'm 41. When I did mushrooms for the first time at 36, 37. The first two times I did mushrooms not not the right thing for me at the time. It was because I needed it. If it wasn't for those experiences, I would never have had the next one. But that was my journey. I mean, my teacher has done mushrooms over 300 times. I have only done it probably about 10 times in my life. Mushrooms it's fungi, it's fungus. It's what we turn into when we dissolve. So it's a beautiful chemical if it's done appropriately. I'd recommend reading the book The Psychedelic Experience if you ever wanted to go through a trip the proper way. Read through the four different stages, the four bardos of what you go through. Ram Dass and Timothy Leary put together a book. It's beautiful. What if your family is not supporting you on doing music? Oh, let me tell you. Thanks for that. For the support, dummy 478. Again, can you give me your name? I don't want to call you dummy. Call him D. I'll call you D. Music. So my child is a DJ, my middle child, and I absolutely support him following. I would love from all my children to follow their path of creativity. Not all of them maybe will. It's up to them. My middle one seems to be pursuing that. Most people will not. I know that his mom is supporting it also, but there are naysayers on the family that will give like have a backup plan and do this and do that and like that's great advice, but I tell my son, follow your own inner heart. And if that's leaving music, that's fine. Follow your own inner heart, but you may not get support and you have to be okay with that. It sucks, but you're gonna find the support out there from people like myself. You're gonna find the support out there when you want the support. Go get it and be friends with those people. Be friends with people that want the best for you and say you're fucking awesome. Sorry for cursing. You're awesome. You're amazing. I'm not sorry for cursing, but I'm sorry for cursing on YouTube because I don't want to get kicked off. But yo, it's like believe in yourself and do your music. And my son's out there now, is doing his music. You can check him out. Don't Met Music. He's on YouTube and TikTok. Um, so yeah, yes, I'm not gonna spell it out for you guys. You can find it if you want to find it. Maybe one day I'll spell it out. But Don't Met Music. He's a DJ and he's starting up and like, it's like it's my middle one, for example, doesn't agree with everything I say about God. We have conversations all the time. I don't, he doesn't have the same belief in God the way I do, and it's so beautiful. And but I do know that he sees that when I stick to a path, I stick to the path that I want to stick to, and I think that that's what he learned is to stick to the path that works for you, not to follow his father's path. We think father's God. Our dad is not God, but is God as much as we're God. Meaning our dad's showing us the best way they can show us. I'm trying to live in the most loving, compassionate, understanding, non-judgmental, open way possible for my children to be able to live the life they would love to live. What's up? What's up, Matt? Oh, thanks, Raphael. I became this way. I was always very positive, but I started to lean when I stopped chasing women and I stopped chasing the parties and I stopped doing my old stuff and left my old life and all those old people. I really started to love myself. Thanks for the subscribe. I really started to love myself. I leaned into it. I became very calm and relaxed. Life gets a little bit boring at times. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This path sometimes can get boring, but that means I'm bored. That means I am boring, and so I have to sometimes learn to sing and dance with myself, learn to love my own company, learn to become best friends with the God within. A guru is helpful because the guru is this playmate that's both imaginary and not imaginary. If you understand, you understand. It's imaginary in the sense that it is on some level imaginary, but it's also the guru shows up. The guru shows up, and if you have a guru or if you know people with a guru, talk to them. And if you're really open to the idea of like when you open yourself up to the possibility of a guru, of an angel, of Jesus, of any of these beings that could come into your life, open to the idea that they come into your life and then they come. But if you don't open to it, they won't come, they won't bother your life. They won't enter your life in the same way. They still will be there, but they won't come in the way that you'd want them to come because it comes from within. It's an inner belief system. It's believing in the miracle. It's believing in the impossible. The impossible is possible. It's really possible, but you have to really believe that it's possible. And everyone's going to tell you everyone around your surrounding is going to tell you it's impossible because that was the scenario you're created into. Because you're the one. Because you're it. Tag. You're it. You're it. You always wanted someone else to be it. I know that feeling. I always wanted someone else to be it. Somebody else, please tell me that they saw it. They saw it. And then you're the one who's like seeing what you see, and you're like, all right, I now have to be the one that people are going to call crazy and atheist, and they're going to call me all kinds of names. Oh, you don't believe in God, and you don't do this, and you're not blah blah blah. And I'm like, why do I have to be like? I just love everybody. I kind of just sit back and love everybody, and then you realize, oh yeah, I have to talk about it. Um, I haven't taken meth. I've taken all the drugs. I've never done meth. That was not for me. I'm not meth and opiates. Opiates when I was a kid in high school. That was not after high school. Opiates not my thing. I even refused opiates after I got surgery one time. I refused opiates. The last surgery, I had to take the opiates, and it didn't do anything for me. It was an opiates is not a great drug. Um, I'm grateful to say I haven't used any hard drugs or alcohol in quite some time, in a very very long time. No need for it, no interest in it. But I tell people all the time the truth, which is the right circumstances with the right people. I might do something. I might do Molly again with the right girl if I find the love of my life, and we might decide. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't dismiss that. You can grow in a lot of ways with substances, with people you love, with the right people who understand, who don't judge you for it. Everything's out there in the world. Everything, even spiritual people are using alcohol for it, and there's a place for it too. For some people are able to tap into that. I personally, alcohol is not something I could tap into spiritually. It did not work for me. It did not make me present. Substances that can make you present. Weed can slow people down. Great drug. I believe that's why Native Americans use a lot of weed for sure. A lot of spiritual people, of course, because weed slows you down. Not to say you should rely on it, but here and there, here and there, here and there. Opiates are highly addictive. Highly addictive. Um, I'm laughing. I'm so grateful that weed has become legal. Weed is legalized now. What a beautiful thing, slowing people down. I wouldn't say to make alcohol illegal, but bourbon gives me godlike powers. See, that's what I'm saying. Alcohol is. I have not tried DMT. I've not tried DMT. I've tried ketamine. I have tried ketamine. That was okay. There was a girl I was friends with. She was big into ketamine, but it was too much. It was too much. I could not, I was like, no. Oh, I appreciate musical. I'm glad I made your day. So I'm here right now. I'm here to do this. I'm here to do this thing daily. I do miss days here and there. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm very consistent when I want to be. I had to choose. I had to learn from Ryan Holiday, who's a Stoic, that I had to learn. I'm very, very, very regimented. I had to learn to become unregimented. It's a crazy thing to say. I was so scheduled, so responsible for so many years. I had to learn to become irresponsible, to become a little bit out of control for a while to come back. Because there's a letting go to come back to grounding. I took a year and a half off of my life to be in nature and to be a wild man. I called myself a naked man for a while. So I have nothing to hide. I was at Hollover Beach every other week in Miami. My children know it's a nude beach, a public nude beach over there in Miami. Spent a lot of time singing and dancing over there, meeting amazing people. So it's all of it. Going through those journeys of life and experiencing all of it. You're meeting God in different forms and God in all kinds of ways, and that's the play, that's the dance, that's the fun. Embrace your humanity, appreciate just we get caught up in the body. It's like Adam and Eve when Adam was embarrassed of his body, then they had to put on clothing. You're embarrassed because we're thinking, people think the nude beach is like a completely sexual place. I found it to be for me one of the most, for me, the most non-sexualized place for me after a period of time. It took some time. I had to go there and get over my immaturity and being immature and being like, ooh, all the naked people. And then looking past that point and being like, whoa, all shapes, all sizes, all colors, all differences. Wow, humans are amazing and we could talk, and it's not always about that. And it can be if people want it to be. If people there's nothing wrong with that. That's humanity, but love one another. It's beautiful. And it's not what you think. I mean, I brought friends there, and I had friends there that had so many unique experiences and left saying, I can't believe it. It was not what I thought it was. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? It's a very freeing people for I have had people that went there because you could wear clothes there too. You don't have to be uncovered. People that went there with clothing, and then by the time they're done, they're not wearing clothing because they're not maybe there were squares in their life, but then they come there and they're like, oh, people are open to the fact that you think everyone looks like amazing. Everyone looks how they look. Humans are all shapes and sizes. I sound like AI. I take that as a compliment. I'm so grateful. If I sound like AI, that's amazing. I guess I hope AI sounds like this, loving and compassionate and in this way. That would be the best kind of AI. That's it. Yeah. You can't deal with the eyes, Raphael. I was scared. I was scared when I first went. I was scared to go because you always have fear of like showing yourself off. Like privately with a partner, you're okay with it, but like in public, it's hard at first, and then you find it really funny dynamics. And oh, thanks for the compliments. It's free. It's freeing. I freed myself with my body. I freed myself with my words. I'm a poet. I spent a year on YouTube. I shut down a page, but I was reading over all my poetry with animation. I told over my entire life stories, and it was an interesting journey. People knew my entire life, but that was that part of the journey, and I'm here now to be grateful for what I experienced and to let all of that go and to be here. I must be vegan. I'm not vegan. No. No, no, you're beautiful the way you are. There's no such thing as ugly or fat or any of that stuff. It's all beautiful. They're all shapes and sizes, and all of it's beautiful. And you'd be surprised how many people are just the way we are, perfectly shaped, perfectly round, perfectly this way, that way, curvy, all kinds. Um, I was born. Jewish people will tell me that I can't ever not be Jewish because I was born from a mother who is Jewish and a grandmother who is Jewish, so I can never not be Jewish in their eyes. I am not Jewish in my eyes. That's not a lie. Okay, I am born Jewish. I tell people the truth. I'm born into that way. I left that way. I'm just a human here traveling this journey, walking each other home. Light and love is how I live by. The rules are within. Don't hurt others. That's a 100%. I do my best. Does that mean I won't hurt others? I might hurt others. I might hurt others by something I say, and that's okay because that's not something I can control. I do the best I can, but I sit in presence and I come back to the breath, come back to a mantra. I come back to my guru. I come back to I look at people and if I lose it, I go right into your eyes and I look past that disguise right into the place of the soul. And then I know some of you guys out there, oh, he's out of control. He's crazy. He's hazy. He's high. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes. But you're high on life when you walk around life. You start to get high on life because you're high on the sun, you're high on the moon, you're high on the stars, you're high on you. Yeah, you start to live in that place, and you come down, and you're here, and you're like, oh, I know not everyone sees the bright lights, but you start to see the brightness. Oh, I love that. I hope you have self-love. Yeah. You have to have self-love. I love you like I love me too. It's like love. I have love. We are one. No need for separation with labels. Exactly. Healthy or not is all that matters. My grandmother was big on health, and health is a big one. And it's true. She used to say health is wealth. If you have your health, you have your wealth. I'm grateful for my health. I went through physical stuff, and be grateful for your health. It is the true wealth. You can't enjoy wealth without that health in this physical world, right? But the pain is in the mind too, to be able to breathe through the pain. When we get pain, it's for us to gain, and it's for us to train in those moments when we're feeling that pain. Modern China, I don't know it. I don't know. I'm not a history guy, nor am I a news guy. I don't know. I know that there's right. It's communist still, um, and communism by the core of it sounds great, but we know what it leads to, unfortunately, because really the reality is that the leaders of groups are leading it, and they're taking advantage of the people. Anytime you're in a position of power, you have an opportunity to do a lot of things. It's scary to have the position of power if you're not leaning from a place of love. If you don't love yourself, if these leaders don't love themselves, which a lot of leaders appear to me that they don't love themselves, they love the fact that they have maybe power. But do they love themselves? And how are they treating others if they don't love themselves? How could you possibly love anyone else? Leaders have to love everybody. Everybody. That's the greatest leaders. Yeah, the body is we have the body here, of course. Keep it healthy in your mind and the spirit too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. You have your body here, the vessels to use. You're here with this vessel. But keeping it healthy is it's a funny word, it's a funny way to say when keeping people say keep it healthy. Now the question is what does it mean keep it healthy? So now people have definitions of oh well you have to eat this way. You have to do this. My guru was round and big and not skinny. My guru wasn't doing some exercises, all this stuff. He was just being, being. So you don't have to do anything. You have to be. Meaning, whenever we say to somebody else, "You have to do this," the answer is, "No, I have to do that. I have to." If I'm saying to somebody else, "You have to do that," means I have to do. No one has to do anything. But the question we always have is, "Well, what should I do? What should I do? I do want to do things. So tell me what to do. Tell me." And it's like, just breathe here. There's nothing to do. Breathe. Yes, there are things we talk about. Breathing. Yesterday, I had someone on my live, my friend of mine who I never expected to be on here. It was on TikTok, and he asked to come on as a guest. I was grateful, and I had him on as a guest, and he was asking me about my morning routine. So I told him, I know some people want to hear. Yes, develop morning routines are beautiful. It's like develop your morning routines. All the people we know, all the greats, all had beautiful morning routines. Let's be real. They all had beautiful morning routines. What's your morning routine? That's up to you, but everyone has a morning routine. Some kind of meditation, some kind of one-liner when they wake up, some affirmation. Maybe they're doing Ram Ram Ram. Maybe they're doing God is great. Maybe they're doing show me how good life's going to get. They go into it and they go into a meditation or a prayer, a cold plunge, a warm bath. What is your routine? How do you start the day? Because it's hard. That morning time is crucial to how you go. It's moment to moment, breath by breath, each moment to the next. Of course, I have ADD. You kidding me right now? Meditation was so important. Of course, I have ADD. Of course, of course. But I can learn to sit here, right? It's been an hour and 30 minutes here almost. And I could sit here now and do this. That is something I couldn't do in my life. I couldn't sit for periods of time talking to a screen without anybody else being here and talking. Basically, I'm grateful for the comments. Thank you. It helps. Show my room. I show when I walk around. Here I am. Sometimes you get to see it from the other way around. I'll turn it around so you can see the pictures here with Jesus and Ram Dass, my children. Sometimes I do that. Good morning. I tell you, dude. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever works for you. No judgment. No judgment. Whatever works for you, and that's the silliness of it. Anyone to judge what people do. Your body is for you. I had a friend call me. My friend was struggling with women. Calls me. Oh, I can't. One woman I have her. I think I'm in love, and then they break up, and then I break up, and then they break up. It's always next to the next, the next, the next. I'm like, dude, why can't you get good first with yourself? And he's like, I know what you're gonna say. And he's like, what? I said, how do you know what I'm gonna say? He's like, you're gonna tell me. You're gonna tell me I have to take care of myself. I said, yes. And that doesn't mean anything other than take care of yourself in every which way you need to for you. You shouldn't need first place is not to need on somebody else, to put that on somebody else, to put it on somebody else to fulfill you. You have to love you in every which way. Look at yourself. You have to love every part of you. Every part of you, your fingernail to your toes, to your head to your toes, every part. What's up, random? Oh, you're back, random. It's a very small thing that I should be judged by you or by any other human court. In fact, I do not even judge myself. Exactly. Yes. No judgments. No judgments. Before you can love others, you must love yourself. My outfit. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm wearing some blue jeans. There's my outfit. This is my outfit, Amy. That's my outfit. Not much. Just chilling. Chilling how I chill. Um oh, no need. Listen, sometimes we need to say things because we're in a place and it's okay. Say what you need to say, but say with just take that breath right before we say it. Take a pause. I was talking to my best friend last night and we were talking. You know what it comes down to? A millisecond, just a change in a breath, in a pause, and we may not react and we just might respond. And that's the difference between staying still and calm and reacting and becoming loose. It's a second. Am I rich? I am rich. I am rich here. I am rich here. I grew up very wealthy. Am I rich in the terms that other people would say? No. No. I grew up wealthy, but I don't have my family money. And when you leave your religion and you leave your community, you don't get the backing and support anymore. You understand? You don't get any financial support. You are on your own. Full on. Full on your own. But the greatest thing, the greatest analogy if I could give you is that when you're born into a wealthy home and you think God is dad, you think God is the dollar bill. Ooh, it's a great analogy. And then you breathe into realizing, oh, I get it. I needed the analogy to realize not to trust in my dad or my mom, but to trust in my dad and my dad and my mom, to trust in the God and goddess of this universe. Oh, baby. That was a God saying, I got you. I got you. Just speak truth. Love everyone and tell your truth. That's what my guru taught Ram Dass and is teaching me. Love everyone and tell the truth. Truth is, I left my way. I left my old way. The truth is, those people left me behind. The truth is, sometimes they come and sneak onto my lives and they want to know what I'm speaking about. I know. I don't know who they are, but I know they've been here because I saw it on my TikTok. They didn't hide the username, so I saw. Trying not to say hello to me, but I saw them there. But I'm grateful because the feeling I gave everybody and I still will give everybody. I love my old I'm still close to some of my family members, but not in the same way. Like, it's different because again, it's very different to bring someone in your home regularly versus like when you're bringing someone in your home regularly, like there's going to be an impact because especially someone who's loving and is chill and is fun. Like I'm not here to hold people back on their fun. Like yo, go do your fun, go do your thing. I don't. You eat what you eat. You play with what you play with. Your toys are your toys. You got fancy cars, cool, chill. Let me go. Let's go chill. You want that person to. I'm a fun person to have. I'm like that guy that you want around. That the rich person might want around because the rich person wants the friend around. I know because the rich person gets bored with all the toys. If you have no one to share with, you got to be able to share your toys. But you're like, who can I share with? Someone who appreciates your toys. So someone who appreciates, doesn't judge your toys, doesn't get angry or jealous of the fact that you have what you have. I'm so grateful for my rich friends. I'm so grateful for them. Are you kidding me? I wanted people to enjoy what they have. Enjoy what you have. But I grew up in such a way where money for me was it's really to it's to use it in a way that can be helpful. It's to pay your bills and to be helpful, but to help others, to do what you can to help others, and you'll have exactly what you have at exactly the right moments. So that's it. I think people around you, especially your family, doesn't understand you completely. Yep, yep, exactly. 100%. 100%. The last people that will fully grasp you in life when you lean into your heart center and lean into God within is your family. They are the last ones to see you fully. Now my children are living with me, so they're living with me half the time. So that's different because my children get to see me. They may not understand everything I do, but they feel the love. They know something is different about my dad. They they're feeling that they understand that I'm not a regular person. I am a crazy guy, but a crazy loving guy. I'm a crazy loving guy, and that's great. Yeah, yeah. People say that to me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you look gay." It would be easier to explain myself if I was sexually gay. It would be so much easier to explain myself on some level. I happen to be not, but my teacher Ram Dass was bi. If not, he was in a relationship with men and later in his life. I'm not into masculinity. Femininity has been my, it's just. But I don't like to. But I'm not stuck into a rule that I define it as you like who you like, and I don't, I don't know how that works. Like we're human, we go through. But to me, the feminine being is what entices me in that way. But I haven't been in a relationship in a while. Like I'm ready for the love. I'm ready for love because I love myself, so I'm really ready. But like I can't the kind of love I want is not something you go like searching for. Like I was, I've done the dating apps and here and there, and I keep on, and I'll keep on deleting it because I'm like, oh, the dating apps are so crazy. Like I would like to meet that love in the right place. But I know I will. It's timing and patience and already so your aura is in because you have Buddha at your back. You're opening up now because of your wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. I am grateful behind you, Buddha painting. Divine timing is everything. Yeah, Jesus does love me. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I love Jesus. Love my guru, Maharaji. Maharaji talked about Christ all the time. I talk about Christ, but I always wanted a Christ savior, a David savior. That complex of someone else coming out here to save me, save me, save me. I wanted you to save me. Why couldn't you save me? And they're like, because you save yourself. The Illuminati. I am not an Illuminati. No, Buddhist from Hinduism for sure. For sure. I got all the isms here. We got the Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, isms. All the isms, all the isms. That's what I was talking about today, leading us to the one. Where are my limbs? Right here. Kreda Mutwa was the same. I think it's the mind, body, and situation. It's just attraction, but you love. Yeah. Oh, first of all, I do like vegetables, and I was having and when my children are not here, I end up eating more vegetables because I eat whatever's here, and it happens to be vegetables are usually left over for my kids, like they don't eat all of it. So I'm like, all right, I'll eat some vegetables. And you're speaking of which, and I'm gonna get hungry soon. And my time's coming to an end here soon in a few, but we're here for a little. Christ is a consciousness, we are God. Yeah, Christ consciousness, we are. Jesus said he is the Son of God, so are we. We are all the children of God. Father is Krishna, just names. Playing, how are you doing? I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here. Grateful you're here, Josh. Jesus did. Jesus touches you in every which way. And the funny thing is, he is here to play too. People get silly and don't want to talk about Jesus or my guru and sexuality. We don't want to talk about those things. Those are uncomfortable places. But there are humans who experience sexuality in all kinds of ways. They're funny people. They're funny beings. They're not like the rabbi being that I had growing up was like the rabbi, like, oh, very, very like, shh, don't look at anything. My guru walked into a room, a dormitory room. A guy had a naked woman on his wall, and he quickly turned it around. And Maharaji walks in and he says, "Why'd you turn around a picture of the goddess? Why would you turn it around? Why would you do that? It's beautiful. There is naked aesthetics of God. We know that the naked images of God all over in all kinds of religions, of course. It's not we get scared of nakedness of our bodies. We're embarrassed. Why are we embarrassed? We're embarrassed. We've all shown our bodies in different ways to our partners and this, that. We've all shown it. We're scared of our bodies. Our bodies are created in the image of God. We are God incarnate. Beautiful. You have to love it. Love what you are given. Love the vessel. And let go. Maharaji Baba Naim Karoli. He was a guru. He is a guru. Was still is very much here, but he passed away physically in a physical incarnation years ago. He was in India. He was Ram Dass's guru, and Ram Dass said in a lecture, "Borrow my guru." So I said, "Okay, I'll borrow your guru." And little did I know what happens. You don't just play around with Maharaji. You don't play around with Neem Karoli Baba. You just don't do that. You don't do it unless you're ready for it, because if you're really open to it, he will come to you, and he will come, and he will keep coming, and he will not stop, and he'll come in the most funny ways where you least expect it, where you're judging yourself in. He will show up for you. He will say, "Oh, you want to judge yourself? I'm here. Hi. Stop. Just be here now with me." Perfectly imperfect. Exactly. Perfectly. That's the universe, right? We want perfection, but that's the universe. Abrahamic religion is referred as Meyach, Melech. Organized religion is a funny thing. It was the religions were supposed to be spirituality to get us to the one. It eventually became a book of rules, And then eventually the masses took it and started with judgments and rules, and this is the way, this is my way, this is that way. It's the name, hence my name on here, the only way. It's like, no, it's not a way for everyone to follow. It's like, no, the only way means that's the path that I have to follow. Your way is your name, your way, your way. Everyone is exactly perfect. Thank you for that, Holly. Everyone is perfect. I appreciate the comedy on here. You've read about him. Yeah, so good. So grateful. I'm so grateful because that's what happens. Because when you talk about love and compassion and unity and these kinds of conversations, it brings up a lot of things for people because ultimately people want to feel what it is that we're feeling, that the ones out here that are feeling when we're feeling leaning into that love and leaning into the presence, leaning into the guru, leaning into Jesus or Maharaji or whatever it is that you're leaning into, God that you feel inside of you and you're leaning into that place. Others want to feel that too. And if they're not feeling it, they feel like it's impossible. You can't be feeling it. You're obviously going to hell. You're obviously not in a good place. You're obviously on drugs. You're obviously crazy. Yeah, I understand all that. And I'm like, that's the that's when you know. I was a therapist for many years, and I was a therapist for a lot of mandated clients in my earlier years, where I was working with parolees and probationers and ACS mandated clients and all kinds of people that were forced into therapy. And I loved all my clients and they loved me. And then one day I had one client that came in and was complaining about me, was saying, oh, he's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah. And at the meeting with all the other therapists, they all came in, they started clapping. And I said, why are you guys clapping for me? I was so embarrassed. And they're like, you finally made it. I said, what do you mean I made it? They're like, that's your initiation. Your initiation. You have to be able to take it. People are going to criticize, especially when you're trying to do your best to help in any which way. I was stuck in a prison mind for a very, very long time. I was stuck in here for a very long time, and I had to learn to get out of that and to let go of the judgments, to let go of the worries, to let go of the fears. And you want it to happen overnight. I wish it happened overnight, but it could happen pretty quickly for people if they're willing to open up and to let go. If they can start just meditating every morning, start the breath right away when you wake up. First few minutes, just breathing, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, short, but do it every day. And over the next, within 2 months of doing that, you'll probably increase your meditations and you'll probably start feeling that the realization you start to become a little more present. You do that together with adding in some mantras or some prayers or some affirmations that you really resonate with you, and you say that every single day. Over the course of a few months, you will see a significant impact. What starts to happen, it starts running around in your background. When you're doing mantras all day long, it starts running in the background. That it's your fallback. I have a few that I fall back onto. One is God is here, I am free. It's an English one, and the other one, Om Mani Padme Hum, is the other one that I use to come back to the present moment, to come back. Om Mani Padme Hum, for those know, but it don't. It means God in unmanifest form is like a jewel sitting on top of a lotus inside my heart. So you're breathing into this notion that God is always here. It's like, but it's here. But when you lean into heart center, it's easier to go into that place as opposed to the whole being. So you go into here more and more and more. This too is God. Yeah, this too is God. Everything. It's every moment. It's sad how nasty people can be in this chat. Yeah, I think that's the place, right? They're not nasty people. They're people. They're just people who are passing through just like me and you, and they need to hear these words for whatever reason, and they need to be able to spew whatever they spew, and we need to give them hugs anyway. It's like virtually. That's the most beautiful thing. I don't have to physically give them a hug because they don't want that hug in person yet. They want that virtual hug saying, "I got you. I hear you. I hear there's anger. There's 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 I have to my way and I understand and I get it." And it's like you have to go through that journey until you can see the unity. When 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 people talk unity, what is that? It's being unified within yourself. Be good with who you are fully, and you could be good with everyone else across from you. The differences you're seeing are just because you can't be good inside here. When I look across the room to whatever that individual, animal, plant, anything, whatever object, could be a cup. Look at it, stare at it, be with it, appreciate it. That's it. It's beautiful. Just it's like yeah, it's like pray for them. Please give me tips to help me grow my relationship with God. So to grow the relationship with God is really to go within alone time, sitting alone, breathing, you know, having a set time every day in the morning and night is beautiful. Before you go to sleep and right when you wake up are the best times in the day to develop that relationship with God, whether it's prayer or meditation, but sitting still and breathing in, breathing in. It's It's funny. I didn't try to have a dynamic with God. Let me tell you something. I didn't believe in God for a while. I left religion. I left God, and I didn't believe in God. I came to God through nature, through psilocybin, but I came through nature and through meditation. Through more meditation, through breathing more, I came to God. Ram Dass brought me to God because it was like almost like I was skeptical about I love the be here now stuff. I love the present moment stuff. I love the meditations. I was doing all that stuff. The God part was hard. I didn't want to like take on God. God was a hard word for me. Until I felt it, until you feel it. And that's where it's like breathe in and follow the breath rising and falling, not through your mind, but through the abdomen. Feel it, and then keep coming back to that place of presence. The more you come back to presence, the more you feel God. And then you'll see God. You want to see God? First is feeling. Internally, feel God. Eventually, you will see the miracles you've asked for. You want to see miracles? You will. But you've always seen them. You just didn't realize you were seeing them. But if you want to be aware to the fact that they're always happening and you'll see them more and more, lean into they're not coincidences. It's God. So thank you. Every time you see something that you think is a coincidence, numbers, signs, song comes on at the right time, friend shows up at the right time, that phone call that came in, that money that shows up, whatever it is, you think it and know it's God and thank God that in that moment, in that breath, in that second, you don't wait. You have to say it out loud to anybody else. It's you. Thank you, God. Thank you. Sometimes I say it in front of people without saying it outwardly. I say it to myself inwardly. Thank you. Steve Nash. Steve Nash. I know Steve Nash. I remember Steve Nash. If everyone would relax and let go of fear and hate, they wouldn't be so scared. Right. It's the fear. It's the fear because one day there's a real truth to this reality, this physical plane, that people won't be here anymore. So there's that. That's the ultimate fear, and then all the other fears stem from that fear of suffering, pain, all that stuff leading up to that place. When we can let go of the realization that, and this is a hard one, not everyone's going to believe this, that you're here forever. You're just not in this physical body forever, but there's nowhere for you to go. You've been here. Now, the level at which your awareness is going to allow you to be where you're going to be in that path of death. So people want to know how, well, after death, you're not going to know anything. Well, I think that's not how it works. I think how it works is that if you feel that way and you're not leaning into death and you're not understanding that death is happening every single moment, then you're not unaware of the fact that the death is happening in this physical realm, and then you go on to your next incarnation or whatever it is you do without the awareness. But I think once you develop an awareness, once you lean into more and more awareness, you start to become more aware. So that's just another moment. Death becomes just another moment, just like the moment before death and the moment last moment just died. We were here for over an hour and a half. An hour and a half ago just died. It's right now 12:09. 12:08 is dead. Literally dead in the realm, in this physical realm. It's never going to happen again. Uh, um, If I work really hard for my dream, study without any distraction, go to the gym, eat good food, and get really good education, will I be Batman? Love it. Love it. You will. You've always been a superhero. Here's the crazy thing. We watch these movies on superheroes. We are all superheroes. You understand that we are all superheroes. That's where these movies come from. We are the superheroes. We're just different people are experiencing different super strengths. What is your super strength? Everyone has a different one. Everyone wants it to be like when you find a teacher, you're like, oh, but I want my super strength to be what the teacher's super strength is. That's what your teacher's super strength is, but you're going to have a different one. Your superpower might be something totally different. I mean, there are, but it's just you have to believe in yourself that there really is this. Watch the movies and see for yourself. Where did they get it from? Where did they get it from? Where did they get it from? Because we know what's called, they're called cities. They're called powers. You can get them, and you don't have to be a saint to get powers. But the powers, as my teacher said, the powers are useless because you're still. The whole thing is to be present. The powers are useless, and because if you gain the powers and you have the powers, why would you use the powers for what? What gain? So you can have, so because you're trying to collect more money or women or fun, like you've done it. You finally, it's like when you don't want the power, you get the power. That's what it comes from, and then you don't want it anymore. Empathy leads me to being vegan. Let's see that one. Empathy leads me to being vegan. I love that. So calm and good, and yeah, I'm healthy. Beautiful. That is beautiful. And once you understand the programming, yes. So there's programming. I had to learn. I had to really step back. You have to step back from whatever you were taught, whatever it is that you came into this world with a notion up until this point, and be like, whoa, can I really give up the things that I was holding so tight to? Whether it's dressing a certain way, talking a certain way. Um, I had to, it just. talk how you talk, dress how you dress. It doesn't have to be. I was dressing in uniform for. I was when I was religious, dressing in a uniform, but literally a uniform, and that's great if you love the uniform. I did not really like the uniform, but I pretended for a while. Pretended to like the uniform. I pretended to be in that place. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you for all. Do I Yes, I meditate. Yes, I meditate every day. Every day. Um, for some shorter periods, some extended periods, but I usually meditate anywhere from 20 minutes a day to about an hour a day, usually. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the day. I sometimes sing. I often sing. Sometimes sing on here. I've done it too, but I sing a lot by myself. I sing. I dance. That is not daily, but I do that often. Daily for me is my meditation, my prayers, journaling, and reading from Ram Dass. Those are my four things that I do, and exercise. There's a 5-minute exercises that I pretty much do those five things every single day, and I've been doing them for a long time. Exercise one I've been doing for extended years, more than the last four things. The other four things for the last 4 years, I've been doing that every single day, and they all increase a little bit here, a little bit there. Life is treating me well. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you guys being here. So grateful to be here. All paths lead to the same place. We've been here a long time. For today, as you know, if you don't know, my name is Yoni. I come live on here and on TikTok. I'll most likely be live on TikTok later after. Oh, I have a meeting later, so I would say on the earlier hour, maybe around the 4:30, 5 o'clock hour, I'll probably be there. But we'll see. We'll see. And for now, I'm here right now. I'm grateful to be here, but I am going to go for right now. Sending you light and love. All paths lead to the same place. If you found me in this moment, there are no mistakes made. So whatever you're saying, I'm not looking at the commentary right now. I'm so grateful. I love the fact that there's people here that are different, that needed to hear loving messages. So you're here because you wanted light and love. So I'm sending you personally, you who's ever writing whatever it is you're writing. Again, I don't know your name. I'm not even looking at it. I would say love you with all my heart. You need it. I needed it at one point. I still do sometimes want that love. My guru shows me that love. I'm gonna send you the love that my guru sends me. Love you with all my heart. Be good to one another. And if we could be a little lighter, a little more lighter as we go. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.